Hey everyone, Mark here from the Sanderson Collector channel, and I've got a couple more books to unbox today. Now, last week I unboxed the Legion and Emperor's Soul UK edition, and I was talking about how well packaged it was, and that's because I have gotten books packaged like this, which is absolutely atrocious. The envelope has no padding, and it literally came open in the mail, and they had to stick a rubber band around it in order to keep it shut, which is really annoying. These books are not Sanderson collection books, and thankfully they're still in decent condition, even though they were shipped in an open envelope with no padding at all. But I was still very annoyed at the seller. World of Books, they put their name all over the envelope, and I'm definitely leaving them a bad review for the shipping. I did get another book this week in the mail, which seems to be pretty well packaged. Yep, that's a book club edition. Packing slip that you don't need to see, and the book. There it is. So this is a book club edition, and I could tell that as soon as I saw the book, because it has this little number here on the back, which is like the special book club number. The regular hardcover, which is this one right here, does not. You can see they've got a different format on the back of the book, even though the cover art is the same and the books are the same size. Another thing about these book club editions is that the dust jacket is glossier. You can see here that the book club edition here is a little bit shinier than the other one. This is the book club edition of Way of Kings, and as you can see, it's much smaller than a full-sized hardcover book. I'm used to having book club editions that are that size, so having the book club edition this size for the Mistborn series is kind of interesting. Another way to tell book club editions apart is that they don't actually have a number line. And number lines are something I'm going to be talking about in more detail today. So I got another couple of books this week. I got this one, which I'm really excited to finally have. This is a first printing, first edition hardcover Way of Kings. And I got this one in the mail on like Tuesday, and I was so excited for it that I couldn't wait for y'all and had to open it up then, but I'm still showing it to you. And then I went to the used bookstore and found a first printing, pristine condition, US mass market paperback Way of Kings. Now this one is fun because they actually changed the spine on the paperback between the first printing and the later printings. I call this one Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, and this one Brandon Sanderson's Way of Kings. The paperback came out in 2011, sometime between the publication of The Gathering Storm and A Memory of Light, which are the last two Wheel of Time books that Brandon wrote, and Way of Kings was the first really big popular Sanderson-only book. So initially the book was more important than the author, and so they put the book title first, but around that time he really shot up in popularity, and so they switched the title and his name so that you see his name first, because now he's more important than which book it is individually. One thing I wanted to talk about today is how to identify a first printing as a first printing, what the difference is between a first printing and a first edition, and just, I guess, how to navigate all that. So I said this is a first printing and first edition hardcover Way of Kings. The way you can tell is the copyright page right here. It has the full number line here going from 9 down to 1. If it has that 1, that means it's a first printing. If it doesn't have the 1, if the number line stops at 2 or something like that, then it is not a first printing. It's a later printing. And it also says right here, first edition, August 2010, and there are no other lines beneath that. So that means that this is the first edition of this book. If you look, for example, this one is a fourth printing, I believe, of The Way of Kings. And if you look here on the title page, it has the number line, which goes from 9 down through 4, but it no longer says first edition because they made some corrections and typo fixes to the text. It is still essentially the first edition because there weren't many major changes, but not officially. It no longer says first edition, and the number line is not full. And here's one that's 9th printing that's the same. Fun fact about The Way of Kings hardcover is that the first printing through at least 4th printing here, there's embossing on this one, but not on this one, and you can see that especially well if you look at the dust jacket itself. You can see where the raised letters are on the inside of this one. If you look at the later printing I have, you can see that it is completely flat and there are no raised letters, no embossing on that dust jacket at all. And it is printed on thinner paper. So these are the same book, same number of pages. This one is significantly thicker than this one because they changed the paper that they used. So that is how to tell what printing a book is. And this one is first edition paperback. I can tell that. It says specifically first edition for the hardcover, and it lists the first mass market edition, which is what this one is. So it had a couple of text changes. I think they just made some corrections from the initial hardcover into this edition, but it's still a first edition paperback because it was the first time it was printed as a paperback. There's two other things I want to talk about. The first one is knowing what a book club edition looks like. And a book club edition is edition published generally by like the Science Fiction Book Club online, where they get the rights from the publisher to make their own, basically, printing of the book, and they send it out to the book club members. And they always have these little numbers on the back that are the numbers specific to the book club. You can find most of the information about these online and what the numbers actually mean there. And on the copyright page at the book club, they have a different bit of information. They do not say anywhere that it is a first edition, because it is not. It is the book club edition, which comes out after the hardcover. And they do not list a printing line anywhere, like they do with the regular hardcover. So if your copyright page looks like that, instead of having all the printing information like this one, then your book is likely a book club edition. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the difference between the edition and the printing. On the 10th anniversary of the release of Elantris, they came out with this really spiffy 10th anniversary edition. And whenever they have a new edition of a book, there is a new printing series. Basically, they start the number line over. So if you look at the title page of this edition, it says First Edition 2005, Revised Edition 2015. They actually made some significant text changes, and there's a new afterword and some stuff like this. But this one still has the full number line, so it is considered a first printing of the 10th anniversary edition, whereas the original book will list the first edition from 2005 and have the number line. This is a first edition, first printing book. This one is a 10th anniversary first printing book. And that's it for today, just talking about printings, editions, and book clubs. And so I've got a couple of books to put on my shelves. I'm honestly running out of room a little bit. I have room to put back all of the books they already have, of course, because they were already on the shelves, but as you can see, like, I have no room here for another Hero of Ages. I have no room here for another copy of Way of Kings, and I'm going to have to do a rearranging sometime soon to get these 3 new books and any other books that I get actually put on my shelves. For now, I think I'm just going to slide them right in here and hopefully get a new bookcase soon so that I can spread everything out and have it look nice. And when I do that and rearrange my books, I think I will do a video showing off my entire collection so that you can see what everything is, where it is, and how I have it arranged.